You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 60 for September 1st, 2019. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, you know what, John, were we not supposed to do that anymore? I forgot.
I was like waiting for it.
I'm sitting there saying it, that's why I paused and I'm like, hold on, wait, are we doing this anymore?
That's fine, man. I'll just put the uns on top of it. We'll see.
Uns, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, hello, John. How are you?
Hey, Alan.
It's like I just talked to you last weekend.
Yeah, but it's been a while since we talked on the Polymaticast.
Indeed.
We had a podcast. I think it's for Patreon of OG Networks.
Yeah, it's Patreon only. I called after the show. Yeah, the whole thought for whatever we were going to do, the initial part of it kind of it sort of dissolves down to people and scheduling and wait, what do you mean we have to do something more than a podcast once a week? No, I don't have time for that. I need to
that's
I
why
need
you
to
recorded
obsess over a
after
topic.
the show.
Right. Yeah. Well, not technically after the show. It's just like crap we don't talk about during the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It isn't focused on like
I don't know if my contribution to this was very good, but I was playing discount Todd. I'm mostly listening, so I wasn't talking that much. Sorry.
I don't know. I released it last night.
Oh, okay.
I already gave you the secret Dropbox link, so you can go listen to it. If not, I'll send it to you again.
I don't think you did.
Oh, okay. So anyhow, yeah, that happened last night. I released it because I edited it last night, but last weekend you and I talked.
So I think the last episode was July 7th or 6th.
Yeah, we are. So as far as the world is concerned, in terms of releases, we skipped August.
We didn't die, or we didn't demonetize, as they call it. So you had some stuff with Otakon, and I had some stuff to do, and it was very warm here as well. We were sweaty, so I was like, yeah, no, let's skip. You were tired from Otakon, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm still recovering.
So I saw your YouTube video. I was like, I don't think he's gonna be very, very productive. So let's just say, hey, let's move it.
Yeah,
you
this
can
week
relax a little bit.
This week alone, which doesn't include Polymatic, was 4 show releases, 3 production runs. And that was just this week alone, and that does not include any of the other stuff I've been doing for the last month or so. So yeah, it was probably a good call. Life happens, too much is happening, and then to recover from that takes some time.
Yep, which is a good way to something like that falling out from your planning, having some. Oh, I can actually go and play a game or something. Wonderful. Yeah, that's really good.
I would laugh at you, but like I haven't turned on my Switch in like the last 2 months. It's just sitting there, and I know that the actual Fire Emblem came out, and I hear it's really great, and I hear that Alan would go into a void and would disappear from the world if I chose to play the game. First and more importantly, buy the game and turn on my Switch. So my Switch has been taking a nice long nap right now.
Yeah, I got. We can talk about the games in a minute, but I've been really busy doing artwork, so I got a lot of stuff done during my vacation. I didn't spend my vacation that well. It's more workcation.
Mm-hmm.
I spent, I think, about half of it on art. The rest of it was trying not to melt and, decompressing from work because I was really, really overworked. And I mean, really, really overworked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it did me well. I'd still like to... I think that during this week, this is my first week back from vacation, I think. Yeah, it is. And I did get a lot of stuff done at work. But then again, when I got home, I was like, oh, now I have to do art. And I don't want to.
Yeah, I think that's the life of a creator. Anyone who's doing anything, whether
this is second week back. I think no. Yeah, it's the second week back. I got a new tablet last week. A new a Cintiq-like thing. Yeah, it's not really a new one. I got a Huion Canvas Pro 22 inch Wacom style tablet thing.
And how is it?
It's okay. I got it cheap, so instead of paying for like $900 for it, I paid $420 for it.
Oh, okay.
That's in euros.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's comparable in price, but I think there's some issues with it with regards to ghosting. So there's some ghosting effects if you move stuff really fast, and it's not the fastest panel in there. And I think that the Cintiq I had, apart from the temperature it was producing, because it was cooking me when I was sitting at it, so the temperature got up to like 60 degrees Celsius on the display. So on the top and the bottom, there's like places where the CCFL tubes are, and then if you put your hands on that, it gets really warm, but you're drawing on it, so you're touching it with your wrists. So you're basically heating yourself up with like a heat exchanger on your wrists. So, wonderful. So that's why I got this one. I got it cheap from a woman in Amsterdam who put it on a selling site we have here called Marktplaats, which is basically an eBay-ish type deal. It was very difficult to get her to get the right model number and stuff, so to tell me what the right model number was. But apparently Huion is very confusing with regards to that. So they say it's the Huion Canvas 22, but there's like two versions of it. And it's like, yeah, great dudes. But then they sell it online with like 2019, but it's not the 2019 model. So yay, I got the 2018 model apparently.
Okay.
Which you can't set both. They have buttons on the side, so you can't set both sides different buttons, as you can do with like Cintiq. And what I think I'm going to do is eventually just buy a Cintiq 22 inch or even a 24 inch. But that's like
money,
200% the price.
Right, of course.
Of a new one. Like it's like $2,000 for a simple the 22 inch, I think.
It's amazing how the most useful tools in our life cost a lot of money. And
yeah, but I think that if you look at the difference between the ones, the Huion ones and the Wacom ones, the Wacom ones are a lot better. Like Huion is getting close. They're getting close, but the color accuracy on these things is not great. So you have to tweak it really a lot before you can actually get it to look good. There's like a matte surface on it, so if you orient your head a little bit too far left, you can the colors on the right start turning different. They're getting different hues and stuff
because of the panel.
No, not because of the panel. It's because of the matte.
Oh, the finish on top of the screen.
Yeah, it's not a sticker, but it's like it's etched glass.
Oh, okay.
So you can't really remove it, right? I would get like if I can get a cover for it, like something that would smush out the matte, because I don't really need the matte stuff because there's no glare in here in this apartment, or at least in this room, because I've got everything darkened. There's no light coming in. It's my cave, art cave.
Yeah, I would. I think what you're really saying is just buy the Wacom.
Save your money. Yes. I think I might sell this one again. But like take a really deep cut on the
price.
amount. and I bought it for. Although I could sell it for the same price, it's like
Right.
But I'm not gonna bother the original seller with like stuff like
Trying to return
warranty and shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna flip it again for like, I think maybe $350 or something, and then go back to my Cintiq and just learn to live with the heat or something. Or maybe I'll use it. I just have to tweak it. I think.
Or you could put some padding on your body. Get some padding and.
No, but it's great in winter. Like the Cintiq is great in winter
Because it heats you up.
It heats you up. So you don't have to turn the heat on. It's great.
I hope it doesn't get so bad where now there's videos of you cooking with it.
No. It's always been warm in summer. It's in my office. It's currently 26.8 degrees Celsius, and that's because the sun has been on this side of the apartment for like most of the day, and it's been gone for a couple of hours, but it's still warm.
Yeah, I understand that problem. I have that problem in my bedroom. It doesn't matter if it's nice out or not. There were a couple times this week where it was, the weather was nice out, temperatures were reasonably cool, and there's no airflow in my room. So the only way to vent it is to have some kind of fan system do that for you. So I bought, I think at this point a couple of years ago, I bought an air condition that doesn't fit in the window. Its vent mechanism fits in the window, and then with a little bit of gaffer tape, I seal up the sort of the crevices where there's holes, and I get a pretty good seal on it. And so I've connected that almost every other night, more or less. I did last night, and I turn it on, and it basically vents all the hot air in the room, and then cools it down. So even if I just put it in fan mode, that's still much better than just like opening windows and assuming that, the airflow is naturally going to occur, which is not.
Yeah. That's the thing that I noticed when it was really hot here in the Netherlands. I was even contemplating getting some like copper tubing and starting to build my own heat exchanger and putting stuff outside the apartment, building my own AC, because I didn't want to spend like $1,000 on an AC unit on the apartment. It's like, it could be really good, but
you're talking for the whole apartment?
No, just for the office. I mean, my bedroom is fine. It's a little bit sweaty in the summer, but like, because it's been getting hotter every year, people really like AC in the US, but over here we rarely have AC here. So, but
it's
I'll get used to it.
It's good and it's bad. It's bad in the way that it's probably causing a lot of our global warming, but it also corrects an imbalance in a room for something that has zero airflow. They also don't build buildings in such a manner where you can strategically turn on fans, and then the older the building, the more it's not a perfect seal. So even if you put a fan in a window and you get it to get some airflow, it's only localized. It's not gonna like pull all the the bad heat from your upstairs or in that other room across the way. As a teenager, I lived with my father, and even though the house wasn't perfect, he found a way to strategically basically put fans indoors, leave doors completely open, and he figured out exactly what fans needed to be open for wherever. And then even like in my upstairs part of the house, which was tiny, it was more like loft bedrooms, but he'd be able to turn everything on, and boy, did that house really cool down significantly. But most houses aren't built in a manner that is designed for something like that. They have literally internally have no aerodynamics. They're just big boxy rooms.
Yeah. So what I did is when it started to cool off in the night, I grab the 4 fans that I bought at the home improvement store, or the what you call those? Like hardware
Box
stores.
fans? Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
hardware
it's
stores.
just
Yeah.
a hardware store, and I bought like 4 of them, and I put them all over it, like in strategic points in the house to move the air from the back, from
Yeah.
actually the front of the apartment to the back of the apartment. Because mine's a little weird, because the front of the apartment building is the back for me,
Okay.
because the door is on the other side, so you walk in through the front, but then you move to the back of the apartment building, and then you move up, and then you go over the not a balcony, but like a walkway to get to the apartments. It's on the other
Okay.
side of the building. So, but the sun at the end of the day is on that side of the building, which, wonderful. That's where my bedroom is. So that
Got
heats
ya.
stuff up. Oh, so but putting the fans on the other side of the apartment, it's great. But now it's getting colder at night, so that's good. But that also means that even though it's very warm during the day and you can't really cool off the apartment during the day, during the night it gets too cold, because I also have hamsters and I can't really put things in there and get them too cold. That might be a bad idea. So yeah. Sorry, that was a long talk about me being a sweaty man.
As you said a moment ago, sweaty man.
Yeah, sweaty man.
All right. Well, hi, hello. How's it going, man?
Hey, hello.
Wait, I already know.
So the over the last 2 months, I think the other thing that happened was that Minecraft got really popular for some reason.
Yeah, they've also been doing some major updates on it.
Well, not that much. I mean, they added bees. That's about it.
Yeah, but okay, so it's been a while since I last. That might not be true. I think maybe last month or somewhere in maybe early August or maybe early August or late July, I deleted my my long running Minecraft worlds and I just recreated a new one. And I played for like, I don't know, not even an hour, just sort of setting up a new tower and stuff like that. And then I have been sort of void on gaming in my life.
I set up a Minecraft server with some people, and it's been okay. It's been not that busy, but people have been showing up, so that's actually pretty cool. And I have multiple Minecraft accounts, so I have multiple aliases. Because I did a series at some point where I wanted to have like a separate character for doing the evil stuff.
You were doing the hard. Oh right, you were doing that.
I would doing a modded stuff, and I had an account for my brother, so he could sign on and do evil stuff to us. So he was like the evil overlord of the evil people,
Game master or whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of crashed and burned. So I saved the account. So I have that one. I have one for my alter ego, if you can even call that. I just use that one for people that I know through art, and then I have the one for when I just play on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. It is making a comeback. That I think is the point.
I think it's made its comeback. I think it's gonna go back down to normal, because there was the thing where the whole creeper amen thing.
No, I don't know what's that about.
Okay, so there's a YouTuber called Captain Sparkles.
Okay, right. I know the name.
Yeah. Okay, so he does lots of good family friendly type deal stuff. It's really positive type deal. I don't know. You should watch it. And he made a YouTube video called Revenge, I think, about how he was doing a playthrough and a creeper shows up and then he blew up. And the first sentence in this, he sees a creeper and it's creeper, oh man, and then he explodes. So, but if you want to watch that one, it's Polymatic.media/QT.
Okay,
that's a fun video, but it's been really popular. So people in Discords have been saying creeper, and then people started doing the "oh man," and then everybody responds, and and that's been a thing. Yeah, it's been messing with people's discords and Twitch streams and things. So yeah, I think he got a really good run out of it. He got some merch sold, so that's I think that's good. Yeah.
Well, All Man comes from, I think, it's like a movie reference, and I just can't think of which one. I want to associate in my brain. I want to associate to the same guy who I can't think of his name off the top of my head, who died. I don't know if it was 2018 or if it was 2019, but he was the guy who was known for like, "Game over, man, game over." He had said that in a film, and like everyone, sort of uses that quote a lot. And I think he might have been part of the "oh man," like that comes from a movie that isn't like Captain Sparkle's unique.
I don't know
brainchild.
Anyway,
I don't know. You'd have to go do some research on that to if you really could.
I really don't.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler there. I don't care. So I forgot about the links for the Huion. So the Huion Canvas Pro, this is a 2019 model. It's the one I didn't get. This Polymatic link/QS for the Pro 22. Polymatic link/QR. And that's Brad something or other. He does lots of reviews of tablets and things. He does lots of art stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Never thought that there would be I guess at this point people are looking for so much specialized content that if a person focuses on, let's say all they focused on is a YouTube channel that just talks about the expertise of lenses, there could be a whole niche market just for that channel. So I don't know. I think when people are specializing on like one, I mean, I guess, there people almost completely have built industry on just specializing, reviewing smartphones.
Isn't that like YouTube? Like everybody has it as a niche.
Yeah, but it used to not be, right? It's like, I'm a tech giant. I talk about all things tech. And even though, as I was just saying a moment ago, they're really just focusing on smartphones. Now, smartphones are not really a thing anyone cares about so much anymore. So now they have to branch out onto weirder things.
Yeah. But anyway, so if you want to play on my realm, you can just give me your nickname and I'll let you on. It's like it's a good place to hang out, just to build something that will last and maybe get improved, air quotes, by other people. I've already had some incidents with people leaving things in my base. So yeah.
Well, you did that when we were sharing one for a while. Remember, you had dug into the walls and you went, you went into what, creative mode or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. Minecraft is its own addiction.
But it's got stuff on there. It's not the vanilla Minecraft server. It's like a spigot. It's like a modified version of the server where you can do commands on the server. So you could have plugins like teleportation.
Oh, okay.
Like that would cost experience. So you'd pay with experience to get teleported to somewhere. It's a very good feature.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. And besides that, I put some stuff on Gumroad today. So Gumroad is a website that allows people to sell artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been very interesting. A very interesting process.
Well, you put your book on.
The first art book, yes, from 4 years ago.
It's been a while. 4 years.
Yeah, it's time to get some new ones made. It's like I don't have enough time to do art. Like I do have enough time to do art. That's not true. I have enough time to do art. I just don't always feel like it.
Right. I was gonna say probably energy. Right. So I made this little. A Toxic Life was like, who has the time? and it what it really the second iteration of that is who has the energy, right?
Yeah.
The bulk of my day, or at least a good almost half my day, is spent at work. And then when I get home, I only have so much energy for other things, and I try to recoup it a little bit by like watching some YouTube or watching some Netflix, to do something that like entertains me. But at this point, I get all my homework done first before I allow myself to splurge too much. And yeah, I
It's
don't know. I
spending
just
time
don't.
like money.
It's just don't have energy, right? I mean that's really the second evolution of that comment. Like, we don't really have an abundance of time. We also don't have an abundance of energy. And when we do, we're just burning ourselves out somewhere else.
Well, what I think is happening with me is that I'm doing oh, I'm home. I just got home. I'm tired from work, and I really want to veg out for a bit. And then I
Mm-hmm.
watch some YouTube videos, and that's like a gateway drug into, oh, I can do something else fun. So I go play a game, or I, read a book or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. Before I used to not do that. I don't have a TV. I do have a TV. It's just not hooked up to anything. It's hooked up to a Nintendo Switch
Right,
and
right, right.
a Chromecast and stuff. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's no TV cable coming into my house. But the thing is, I used to watch TV and I didn't get stuff done. Then I stopped watching TV. Got a lot of stuff done. Now it's YouTube or Netflix or whatever, or a book or something, and it's very entertaining. And I'm enjoying the books and I'm enjoying the videos. It's just that I could be doing something else. And what I think I'm gonna do at some point, and this is something that I heard on Cortex. It's a podcast by CGP Grey and Mike Hurley of Relay FM. They were talking about tracking time. Right, I do track time for work, and I've been thinking of doing that for other stuff as well. So all the stuff that I spend on more high level. So I'm not doing that like every minute that I spend on something, but I need to find a tool that helps me do this. I haven't found a good one yet, so I'm gonna maybe see if I can build something myself. But then again, I'm making something again, and I'm wasting time on building something. So yeah, so I have to track my time, and I think if I track my time a little bit better, I can see where I waste my time, and that gives me some more motivation to actually do something for a change. And during my vacation, I got like 4 pictures mostly done. I had one that wasn't done yet by the end of the vacation, and like during the last weekend before I got back to work, I was like, I have to work on it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
The speed of my side projects is basically my Saturdays. Because usually between Saturday and Sunday, I am really fundamentally, from a health perspective, sleeping in to let my body rest and sort of recoil a little bit from the pressure I was putting on it, the unhealthy, habits I was putting on it, which was, again, when you have 3 production runs of things to do, that takes up 3-4 hours of your evening. Especially when the shows go long, sitting and editing, it seems like, but then, I got to multitask. Oh, I got to go through and look through the pictures and quickly select a couple things. I got to post those up. Oh, I got to do the show notes. Okay, they're a lot simpler now, but I still got to, I got to make sure I pull all the links together, all the things we talked about. And I'm doing all this stuff while I'm like, my ears are listening to something, and I got to pause, go fix a problem, go re-listen to it a couple times. Okay, good. And, that takes a couple hours. And then when you have 2 or 3 of those shows you got to deal with, eats up a fundamental, just a lot of my time after work. So only a couple of my evenings are set for me to like watch some Netflix or watch a TV show, which is 1 or 2 hours of that, and then my evening's over, right? And so for me, it's my weekends are it. These are my time to do things. And depending on how the rest of the week goes, I might get completely selfish and might want to completely watch a bad TV show to its final
Veg out.
end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So we're caught up.
Yeah, more or less. I
did
mean,
you-
this is these months are in this time of year are always fundamentally. I'm not saying fundamental a lot. This time of year is really just saturated with being really kind of busy and struggling to kind of sort through working and not having time for the long list of things that kind of just need to get done, and they never get done if you don't work on them, because if you're the only one who can work on them and they're really just for you anyways, then you have to work on them. So you got to do the work anyways.
Yep. Anyway, I think we got some fun stuff to share, or do we want to continue on the not being very productive train?
Well, we really we were just talking about anti-productivity. You talked a little bit about gear. The deal that I got, I don't even know if it's a deal. The price on the 6-key Stream Deck came down, so I bought another one. Right, so I bought one for down here, and I use it really for the podcast, right? Just to get two sweepers. A quick, link for the mixer board, which I think I'm gonna move around and also add addition in there to the folder. And then also I have a little, like on OG when we do reviews, I have a little timer here that I can run without having to pull my phone out to do it. So that's really been nice. And so they dropped down in price from like whatever they're $100 a pop down to about $60. And they sustained that way for a good 3 weeks or so on Amazon. So $60 in terms of US dollars. So I picked up another one and I set it up upstairs. So I have another one of these, second profile, that is sorted when I connect up my laptop upstairs. And I have my quick access to, again, folders. And then one of the things that's really nice, because I have Philips Hue, I made just a folder set, which gives me 5 options for turning on lights. And so I basically have it for all that I need, minus like my bedroom, where it would be nice to have a little quick button for the bedroom. But yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, for $60, I picked up another one, and I've basically sort of maxed out, all the sort of scenarios for it, at least for the most part. I'm sure I could be more effective, like make a folder set of folders that have then a whole bunch of links, but I didn't want to do that many clicks.
Yeah, but the Stream Deck here are still like $99.
Yeah, no, $60 here in the U.S. On Amazon. Now I haven't checked this week. I don't know if it went back up, but as of like a couple weeks ago, I bought a new one. I'm also been ramping up with the idea that, I don't know if you can see it in the background. Can you see him in the background?
I don't think so.
You see the... Okay, hold on.
It would help if you tell me what I was supposed to be looking for, but...
Do you see it? I'm going to point at it. There you go. Okay, that's... Now, you probably don't see
Very
it.
helpful, this, for people who are listening.
Yeah. So anyhow, I got these glass sort of monitor / laptop stands.
I think I saw it last week when we were doing the Patreon thing.
Yeah. So I got a second stack. So the idea is when I bring the new mixer in, and it's like $40. They're pretty good. They have like an adjustable height, but they're not like ratcheted, meaning that if it's like level 5 in all of them, like you have to sort of screw them all out and adjust them, identically to make it be balanced or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of leave them at their default height, which is perfect enough for me to like throw the headphone amp underneath, a first stack. And then the second stack, I'm now starting to develop a need where I need to put some phantom power boxes and cloud lifter boxes in the line, so I could put that in the second stack. So it's kind of like my cheap way, my simple way of dealing with like an open air rack. And then on the top rack, I will put the new digital mixer when I buy it. And then I'll rewire everything this way. And so this will allow a lot of airflow. It will allow them not to be stacked on top of each other and heating each other up. And it will allow a lot of high accessibility. So if I just want to pull out the headphone amp, then, I basically have its own isolated, airflow stack that I can do that on. So that's kind of what I bought those guys with the idea of, being able to do that. And originally I bought smaller ones. And then this week I bought slightly larger ones. And so that's kind of what my plan is there. I thought about getting like a rack mount, box or something. And I'm just like, nah, I don't think I want to do that because it's not like I'm going to be traveling with that often. And, this stuff sort of stays in this room. And it's really not a big problem. I just kind of stack everything on top of each other. But they really don't have any airflow separated from each other. And then, if one piece of electronics is on top of the other, it's heating it up. So I thought it'd be nice to be able to have like full, basically 360 access to the whole thing. And
have you considered when you do this, mounting some like Noctua fans or something like that?
I probably could, but I wasn't thinking that far into it. I'm not really having a heat problem. That's my thing. In fact, the fact they'd be sitting on glass, they will thermally conduct better than heating up whatever they're sitting on top of.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, or they'll heat up less. Let me say that. And so that was just sort of also I had developed an interest in I developed sort of a like for having the board and its, all the faders and everything at a certain like level when I'm sitting here, because it's convenient, it's comfortable, and it's natural. And with this interface, it's a software board, but so it's nice to reach out and be able to like talk to people and turn away, which I guess you can really see me now, and talk to people while I'm still being able to pull them down, and have it at a certain height instead of like sort of, reaching up real high or reaching up too low. It makes it much more convenient, sort of the nature of doing this. That's kind of how I've want it to physically sit. So I need it kind of elevated anyways. So anyhow, so I bought that. And then more recently, one of the guys who's been on Skype quite a bit, finally, I think the second time this year he's been in this room recording with us for the show physically. And the most recent time he was here, I had to boost up his mic significantly. It was just not, it wasn't the cable. It wasn't any of the mics. It's just basically the spot on the interface for number 5, which creates a whole kind of issue. And the signal needs to be amplified. So I boosted up his gain quite a bit, which also brought in a bunch of, ambient and environmental noise from the mic. It worked out just fine, but he was still really significantly low. So I bought what we call a cloud lifter. So these are sort of active dynamic amplifiers. So what I ended up needing to do is I finally figured out, like, I had hooked the thing up and the mic there was no signal. So I hooked the mic up back directly and it was like, oh yeah, it's working. And then I passed it through the cloud lifter and I was like, well, it's not working. So the cloud lifter needs phantom power.
Oh, yeah.
So the interface provides the phantom power, even the one where the signal seems to be low for some reason. It provides phantom power. But then the mic needs phantom power to provide signal to the cloud lifter, and the cloud lifter doesn't pass the phantom power all the way through the cloud lifter. So I had to take my phantom power box. I have an external one that I bought for something, and connect that up to the mic so I could pass the power, the output of that from the Phantom Power Box into the Cloud Lifter. And again, that's where I was like, okay, I need a second rack where I can kind of nestle a stack of Cloud Lifters and these Phantom Power Boxes so I can sort all this out.
Wouldn't a new mixer have solved this problem altogether?
Yes, I would think so. I hope so. But here's the other problem. I hear that you need these Cloud Lifters and you need this stuff. You need this kind of setup despite the board, whether it provides Phantom Power or not. If you buy the SM7, the Shure 7, Bs. So that's an eventual plan anyways. So I kind of need to ramp up that gear anyways.
Okay.
So I'll slowly buy a second one of that solution. The Phantom Power Box that I have can handle 2. So I'm using only 1. So I'll buy another Cloud Lifter, and then that will allow me to have access to the spare mic, because I had the same kind of problem in the past, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on there. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why it's all of a sudden a problem. I think it's always been a problem, and since I hooked up the interface.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah, I don't know. So that's it. That's the consolidation of gear that I can think of off the top of my head that I've gotten recently. But again, I buy gear not because I'm doing something fancy with it. I mean, I'm using these tools.
Yep.
I'm putting them to use. I'm buying new tools. It's basically, this is my version of a wood/metal shop. So
Yeah. I gotta get back to doing stuff with 3D printers. It's been a while since I've done anything. I recently made some letters for people, some Lego letters, so they can put Lego bricks on top of it. It has the little nubs. It's for the kids. They wanted Lego letters, so I was like, okay, I'll make them.
You need to improve the replicator little bits so that they do clamp together like Legos.
Oh, they were not mine. I just got them off Thingiverse and just printed those.
Yeah, I know, but you can make that a project, right?
No. I've got a book to do. I should be working on that.
Yeah.
Not on more 3D projects.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna start sorting out, looking through the footage that I took a month ago. And I guess maybe about a week or so. I did a bunch of set of upgrades that also support all that stuff. Even new drive in the laptop. So cloned and sorted all that thing out.
Oh, it finally worked.
What? Oh, it works fine. The only thing I couldn't do is I really can't expand the initial partition. Look, if I went and rebuilt the OS, then yeah, sure, I could do exactly what I need to do with this whole scenario here, and have it all one big drive. But when you get the stuff that's from the factory, from the manufacturer, they have the operating system rescue disk, their rescue disk, their BIOS, their this, their that, is all sort of loaded up onto the drive. So while it looks like one big C drive out of the box, it's got lots of other rescue tools and other partitions on it. So it doesn't leave the operating system partition at the end allocated next to the empty space. So it really has a hard time trying to expand.
Yeah.
So I've had this problem before where I tried to take the old drive and do a new. The only way is if you do a hard drive upgrade, just rebuild the OS. That, and then reinstall everything, right? That, and then carry over your files. So in this case, I took the compromise of just creating a secondary large, almost full terabyte drive on the laptop, where I can kind of put these working project files, in the laptop, instead of working them all through external SSDs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just got to sort through some of that today.
Wonderful.
Today. Yeah.
Having to
terabytes.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be streaming tonight. And it's going to be, yeah. I was going to edit first, but it was like, yeah, no, I'll leave that for tomorrow.
So what's your feeling between Twitch and Mixer? Have you considered like experimenting with Mixer a little bit?
I don't stream on Twitch or Mixer. I stream on Picardo.
Okay. What is Picardo?
Picardo is a streaming website for artists.
Artists. Okay, so you're not talking about streaming in terms of what my brain went to immediately gaming. You mean like artist streaming?
Yeah. People are watching other people draw stuff.
Yeah.
And Picardo is a lot more lenient for, they don't, as soon as a nipple appears, they don't start screaming. It's good.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Twitch has become big business.
Oh, no, it's been like that forever. Twitch has always been, that's not allowed. There was even a whole riot about it.
I remember Justin TV where there was no real law on anything. I mean, so going way back when, I remember this whole thing. There was a guy from MIT, and I don't think it was Justin though, but there was a guy from MIT who sort of walked around and he came up with his portable backpack. And you're talking back like, early 2000s. This stuff, be able to have like a backpack where he basically hiked through the world, not through the world, but like through the country, and he carried this always on streaming, portable backpack of stuff, and like 24/7. And so some technology came out of that, which then encouraged what they were doing with, Justin TV. And that's where I first saw iJustine. I thought there was some correlation there, and there wasn't. But there were people who would stream. I remember watching, there was this like, I took interest because I was wondering what seemed to be in the carousel seemed stupid. But there's this girl just sitting there, and she's reasonably attractive, and she's sitting in her kitchen yelling at her brother on her cell phone. And that's what she was streaming. And then every once in a while, I would see her stream come up. This is it. She would just sort of live her life, and it wasn't working. And she was just sitting there, just sort of existing. And it was basically like, watch a hot chick exist. That was her stream. And that's what a lot of the content was originally. It wasn't people like staring back at the chat and talking to each other. That kind of stuff didn't come until later. And so it wasn't until we got like some more valid use case, like, people playing games and talking, where it really kind of flipped into what it is now.
Well, Picardo's been around for a while. They've been, and you can, if you're an artist, you can stream there. It's very nice. Even though Twitch does have it, there's some more rules on Twitch than there are on Picardo. So it's very good.
My friend Rebecca does. She Twitches. She streams while she's drawing. She usually does little charity streams and stuff like that. She doesn't have a huge following or anything, but I know that this is a thing that she does often enough. I'll let her know about Picardo.
Most artists know about Picardo. There's not much you can. Picardo's pretty well known in the artist community. Anyway.
Okay.
There's also Pixel, Piczel, but it's a lot less populated. There's usually people streaming on. There's always people streaming on Picardo.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I think we have some fun stuff to share.
Okay. I got a short film, Negative Space. I don't know. I found a channel that puts out like short films of the week or something like that. And there's some really good ones on there that I've seen recently. Polymatic.link/QN.
And it's called Negative Space.
Negative Space. And then the next one is really just for you, John.
Oh yeah, I've already seen it. I already subscribed to their channel.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
they've really been just focusing on doing resin things lately.
They are very
Everything
obsessed
Caitlin.
with resin, yes.
And so apparently they have a gaming channel, which I don't watch. And they got super obsessed with Minecraft recently.
Like
So
everybody else.
Polymatic.media/QO. And I saw this. This is something they released. They made resin blocks, some of them glowing, even wood. No, they're not resin wood blocks, but they cut wood blocks and they made a pickaxe. And then they went to a cave in Texas.
Yep.
To have fun with the glowing pickaxe, resin pickaxe. Are you gonna build one?
No. Although at some point I might actually build, like do a 3D printed one, a 3D printed pickaxe, or maybe a.
Are you gonna do what they did, which is in parts, or are you gonna actually do it as just one piece?
Well, I can print most of the parts in one piece, but what I would like to do is get like different types of wood filaments to make the blocks for the handle, and then get different types of filaments for the blocks for the pick.
My sort of equivalent thing that's been churning in my brain of something that I might get into, so I make cold brew and whatnot, but some part of my brain wants to start making some kombucha, more for the effort of like trying to make it, and less about getting drunk on tea.
Okay.
But there's a channel. I forget what he kind of rebranded it, but him and his brother had a cooking channel for a long time. They're into the million or not millions at this point, and the guy has been setting up a studio, basically a kitchen studio, and he started going through his process because he makes kombucha quite often, kind of like I make cold brew. And he's got it down to a process where he tries out making different kombuchas. And so, my brain is a little twisted. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a little more involved process to cold brew, which you're now kind of bored with making. Because the process for cold brew for me is like next to nothing. Like it's 40 minutes of prep and putting it together and putting it in the fridge.
Yeah.
There's what used to seem like a complicated effort is like, it's I don't know, it's just a muscle memory for me.
Alan the Liquor Baron.
Yeah, so I thought, maybe making some kombucha would be kind of cool. My only concern is my roommate would love it a little too much. I think that's the problem.
You just sell it.
I don't know. My neighbors might like it because, it's like probiotic and alcoholic at the same time.
I've never had it.
You never had it? I think what you buy like in the store, that's up. So basically it's bacteria that ferments, eats the sugars out of stuff. So what people do is they do it with teas, and then when people make more booch, they like cut up various things, like let's say they do cucumbers, or they do like melon and like I don't know, jalapeno pepper or something like that, and they put that in basically in a jar with the Scooby, which is the SCOBY or whatever it is, which is the yeast stuff, and it gets, you have to kind of develop your own SCOBY, which gets like this big blob, and you put it in and you let stuff ferment, and then you kind of pour the stuff off in the bottles, and they continue to ferment and they carbonate basically. So it eats the sugars, and so what you get is sort of like a tea fruit juice with the essence of whatever it is that you basically put in the bottle. Right?
Yeah, just be careful, because that can get out of hand.
It probably could, but it seems like a cool kind of like side
Yeah,
thing.
but like if you get like messing with like yeasts and mushrooms and shit that can get really.
I tried to do that. I got like a yeast kit a number of years ago where I was like, I'm going to play with this, with fruit juices and stuff. And didn't know about kombucha at that point. And I was playing with that and trying to create some meads and stuff like that. And it turned out okay. And I sort of didn't divest my time into it. My friend Omar has, and every once in a while he makes a ton of wine or meads or whatever it is, and he gives that away at holidays. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, making like a beer or something like that. That could be like there's some kits you can buy where you can just get certain yeasts and stuff that you need. Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. There's some yeasts and stuff that you can buy, and then you need certain devices to make sure that it's not gonna kill you. That's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Making your own beer is I think that's as far as I want to go if I were to do it, because there's not much you can mess up about that.
Little thought in my brain that is sort of moving some gears, and so it's like a thing that might be cool to like start working on, try to make some, and play with it a little bit and see if I can make some pretty cool, naturally sweet or naturally fermented. I'm any kind of good fizzy water I'm into. I'm not generally into tonic water or seltzer by itself. I'm not into LaCroix or anything like that. But if I could, get some fresh fruits, like, definitely during the summertime or whatever it is, and make some stuff that prevents me from, I don't know, just putting a lot of sweet sugar, bad stuff in my body, and allows me to, make something that is unique that you can't just get at a store, might be worth playing with, try out. I mean, that's kind of like how the cold brew is. Yes,
for the kombucha, you need to put sugar in it, right?
You do to start, but then that gets fermented away and turns into the carbonation, based on the scoob.
Okay.
Based on the yeast.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be one of those things one day I'll try, because it's on my brain as a thing to maybe buy some gear and start playing with it.
I wonder if you can exchange them. Like if you have like one of those puddles of goop, and you can move them between different types of stuff.
I don't have the link for it because I wasn't prepared to have this kind of conversation on it. But the channel that I watched, the guy, what he recommends is he even showed in his here's like a 20-30 minute video where he shows how to have your own starter, and he says go buy one of these like organic kombuchas, from a store, and then what you do is you basically take a bottle of that and some black tea and then a little bit of sugar, and you put that in in like a jar or something. You let it ferment for a couple days, and then you start to see that the yeast starts to grow bigger. Your scoob grows bigger, and then you keep transferring that, and then over time they get bigger, and then you put them in jars and you put them in liquid, and they continue to get larger. And then you just sort of develop your own. It's like
culture.
What people do with sourdough. They have their own starters, and they keep continually keeping it alive to develop it and let it get more unique and interesting. And that's the same thing.
Didn't they call that like the starter thing? Didn't they call it the mother?
Yeah, something like that. I think I've seen that for when you talk about sourdough. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so that was food, or we went from glowing pickaxes to making kombucha.
I did. I went there.
Making booze.
Booze.
I've got some links to share as well.
Okay.
So I got Linus cat tips. Linus from Linus Media Group. I got some new cats, I think. So Polymatic.QP for Linus's cat versus his spider-ish. pretty cool. He has a cat. It's cool.
I don't know that I've seen this video.
Anyway, another one is the lockpicking lawyer. It's actually a link to a channel.
Yeah. The guy's funny.
Polymatic.link/QQ.
Yeah. I every once in a while I watch his videos.
Yeah. It's they're short videos.
Yeah.
Hello, this is the lockpicking lawyer. Blah blah blah. He always starts in the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Polymatic.link/QQ for that, and a very old video by Veritasium of how transistors work. Polymatic.link/QU.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It was a pretty good video explaining how actually transistors work.
Hmm.
So yeah, sometimes it's easier to find the video than trying to explain it to somebody. So I had to use this video this week. So yep. I think that's it for today.
Are you sure? We've been talking a long time.
We have been talking a long time.
I mean,
maybe
I talked a little bit.
Maybe next time, if you have made kombucha, we could have a discussion and a review of what it is.
I don't know that inside the month I'm going to start that process. I think that might be more of a 2020 effort. Or when I get to the holiday and I'm looking to buy myself some stuff. I mean, I already bought myself like large, like mason jars. Like I know what I'm doing there for cold brew.
What you need is like a collection of lab gear
mm-hmm.
for your cold brew and for your kombucha efforts and everything. I think if you get some, not secondhand, don't get secondhand, but like you can get lab gear for pretty cheap. Like
yeah,
stuff
I don't know that I need the lab gear based on the guy that who makes this stuff a lot.
Yeah, but
most of the stuff he does isn't using like what you're talking about when they make wine or when they make beer.
No, not just that, but even if you make cold brew, you can have your own setup for that, and like with the filtration systems and stuff like that. Just so it's easier to clean, because that stuff is made so it's easy to clean, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can get some acetone to clean stuff, to clean it up properly.
Yeah.
Right.
I have my little setup for cold brew, and it's not that complex. You know, I do exactly what I need to do to fill up bottles and stuff. In fact, I think Orla is coming in town in a couple of weeks, so I definitely need to make more cold brew just for her alone. So I got some stuff to do. So maybe that's a thing I work on tonight. But while I was sitting there and I'm realizing that, you know, kombucha is based on teas, I wonder what happens if I started out with cold brew liquid instead of teas.
I think the coffee might not be
as good.
Yeah, I think it might kill the fungus.
Because
it has a lot of caffeine in it.
It does.
I don't know what it does with molds, but although
I don't know about teas though. I mean,
you can
teas
have coffee mold over. So I guess we never know unless you try it.
I got to research it first. I'm going to look for some coffee kombucha and see if that exists. Or I should say,
maybe you're the first one.
Very specifically, cold brew kombucha.
Make sure there's people there when you try it out for the first time, so people can call an ambulance if you need.
No, I'll experiment on myself first before if anything.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you try it out for the first time and you keel over and nobody's home.
The first thing is enabling a problem, which is Alan making it, especially if I do it well. And then the second problem is my roommate partaking in the kombucha. And knowing him, even if I don't share it with him, his nose will smell it, and I'm sure he'll be dipping in without me knowing.
Okay. Anyway, so, Alan, where can they find you?
Do you really want people to find me? You don't have to. But if you like, you can find me on Twitter, CHAESS. That's my last name.
You can find me on Twitter as well at twitter.com/webdevie, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. Our music is by Seyuns, which you can find at Polymatic.link/EK. Our Twitter is The Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media. And, maybe tune in next time. I don't know. Uns.
Yeah, like in a month. The next time we release a show, you'll release it November 1st.
No, we're going to try and record next month.
We'll record it in September, and it'll get released November 1st.
Well, if the timing is right, then I think it's every 4 weeks, so...
Right, yeah.
So it's probably by the end of September.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot, going on, like, externally, during this time, aside from just, like, the mixture for holidays. So we should be fine. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.
Bye.